Billy glared at the mushy green goop in his baby sister's bowl. Pea puree. The smell wafted towards him, making his stomach turn. Lily, his sister, giggled and smacked her lips, clearly loving every bite. Billy, however, was fuming. Ever since Lily arrived, everything was about her. Cuddles from Mum, stories from Dad, even Billy's favourite toy truck had become Lily's favourite chew toy. It wasn't fair. A terrible thought crossed his mind. What if Lily just disappeared? Then, an even crazier thought popped into his head. Maybe, just maybe, if he ate Lily's food, he could become the baby of the family again. He knew it was silly, but the idea took root in his jealous mind. One afternoon, while everyone was distracted, Billy saw his chance. He grabbed Lily's bowl. He scooped a bit of the green goop onto his finger. He closed his eyes and took a tentative lick. It tasted even worse than it looked, but Billy was determined. He ate another bite, and another, until, with a shudder, the bowl was empty. That night, Billy woke up feeling strange. His pajamas felt too big. His feet were swimming in his slippers. He stumbled to the mirror and gasped. He looked smaller. He raced to tell his parents, but the words wouldn't come out right. Instead of his usual voice, all that came out was a high-pitched babble. His parents just chuckled and patted his head, thinking he was trying to be like his baby sister. The next day, the changes were even more dramatic. Billy woke up to find himself wrapped tightly in his blanket. He could barely move his arms. He tried to call for his mum, but all that came out was a frustrated wail. Panic surged through him. This wasn't what he wanted. He wanted to be the baby, not actually become a baby. But it was too late. With each passing hour, he shrunk further, his body regressing until he was no bigger than a toddler. Being a toddler again was both terrifying and humiliating. He couldn't go to the bathroom by himself. He couldn't reach the light switch. He couldn't even tie his own shoes, which wouldn't have been so bad if he hadn't still shrunk out of them. The worst part? He understood everything happening around him, but no one understood him. He tried to tell his parents what was going on. He pointed at the baby food, then at himself, then made a shrinking motion with his hands, but they just laughed and called him a silly goose. They thought he was mimicking Lily. As the days went by, Billy shrank further. The once dreaded high chair was now the only place he could reach the table. The toys he once considered babyish were now too big for his shrinking hands. He felt like he was trapped in a nightmare, his mind racing while his body became that of a helpless infant. He was a prisoner in his own babyfied body, and no one, absolutely no one, knew his secret. The inevitable finally happened. Billy woke up one morning back in a crib. He was wearing a diaper. A wave of despair washed over him. He was a baby again, a gurgling, drooling, completely dependent baby. His parents, oblivious to his inner turmoil, were overjoyed. They cooed and bounced him, marvelling at their miracle baby. They had no idea that their baby boy was actually a frustrated preteen trapped inside a baby's body. The only upside to this bizarre situation was that Lily seemed to like having another baby around. She would babble to him, poke his cheeks and try to share her toys. But Billy just wanted to scream, "Those were my toys first." He was stuck. He longed to tell his parents the truth, to apologize for his jealousy, to beg for them to find a way to reverse this crazy transformation. But how? All that came out of his mouth were drool bubbles and incoherent babbles. Billy's tween crush, Emily, had always been the girl of his dreams. She was kind, funny, and had the most beautiful smile. But now, as a baby, Billy's feelings were a mix of embarrassment and excitement. Emily had been hired as his new babysitter. She would bathe him, change his diapers, and hold him against her young breasts. Each touch, each gentle caress made his heart race. He wanted to tell her how he felt, but all he could do was gurgle and coo. Emily, oblivious to his inner turmoil, treated him with the utmost care and affection. She would sing to him, play with him, and even read him bedtime stories. Billy's days were filled with a strange mix of joy and frustration. He longed to be his old self again, to tell Emily how much he liked her, but for now he was just a baby in her arms, cherishing every moment, even if it was bittersweet. With each passing day, Billy's resolve grew stronger. He knew he had to find a way to communicate, to break free from this infantile prison. But as he lay in Emily's arms, listening to her soothing voice, he couldn't help but feel a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, there was a way to make her understand. For now, he would enjoy the tender moments, the gentle touches, and the love he felt from Emily. But deep down, he was determined to find a way back to his old self, to the boy who could tell Emily how much she meant to him.